On Roblox, there are thousands of Brainrot games, but only a few of them managed to get into millions of players. And one of the latest games to do so was Kick a Lucky Block. Back in early May, this game could average hundreds of thousands of players daily, but if you were to check its player count now, it will look pretty different. At one point, the game peaked at over 1.6 million players, thanks to admin abuses, which also made it fourth most popular Brainrot game on the platform. And while admin abuses still managed to get this game hundreds of thousands of concurrent players, the average player count did drop quite a lot, going from over 200,000 in May down to about 30,000 now in August. But if you know anything about Brainrot games, then you'd know that this is usually how the player count actually looks like on most of them, even the less popular ones. But what are actually the reasons for Kick a Lucky Block to lose so many players so quickly? Well, the reasons why this game became popular in the first place are very simple. First one being Brainrot, because it's Brainrot, you know, and the second one being gameplay loop itself, or just how simple it is. You gain kick power to get better Brainrots. You get better Brainrots to earn more money, and you earn more money to get even more kick power. The gameplay concept is fine, but one of the main reasons for why the game is falling off is also gameplay. Or you could say, lack of new things for gameplay. After 3 months since when this game first got to the front page, the only new thing added that you have to grind for are kick styles. And even then, the only way to get them is either pay to win or kick the lucky block thousands of times, apart from limited ones. The most recent addition is the event machine, which generates a random event every 12 minutes, like for example this one where you control your lucky block to get extra luck. And this is basically it. That's all of the new actual content besides the obvious more Brainrots, more areas, and more weights. Sure, there is trading, but that doesn't really influence the gameplay unless you play for trading. And there is also Weather Machine, but that one unlike Event Machine is fully pay to win, and pay to win is something I will get to a bit later. But as you understand, the game hasn't gotten much of new actual content, and even though I haven't really played it for 3 months, it felt like nothing really changed. And on the topic of new content, what do updates look like? The new update looked like this. Just question marks, but later was changed to simply admin abuse, while duration was kept the same. So it looks like the admin abuse is still going. They might have not finished the update and instead moved it till later, the next one being a meteor shower event. And if you go to their official Twitter account, you can see all of the previous update posts. And one thing you'll notice is that quite a few updates are centered around events, which pretty much explains why the game hasn't really changed all that much. Since they mostly just add events, there is nothing else to really progress for besides the stuff that already existed since day one, and that can make the game boring, which then leads to people quitting it. And if they will actually end up shifting to only updating the game once every 2 weeks, the game might begin losing players even faster, since this kind of game heavily relies on new content to keep players interested, just like every other Brainrot game like it. But I've mentioned pay to win. Is it bad? I'd say yes. The first thing you'll see when you open the Robux store is a Robux lucky block for 300 Robux. There is a 1 in 200 chance to get a mystery Brainrot, and then 10% chance to get the best one. That means the odds are 1 in 2,000 to get it, which on average would cost you 500,000 Robux. If you scroll further down, you'll have a very expensive luck boost, very expensive VIP game pass, and a few other game passes. Outside of the Robux store, you have another loot box. It costs 14 Robux, but contains a 1 in 10,000 Brainrot. And you also got the Weather Machine, which has an event that costs a whole 1,000 Robux. And finally, limited Robux Brainrots, which increase in price as stock goes lower. Pay to win is definitely a problem, just not as big as lack of new content. But there is something else about this game that made it get less players than it potentially could have. You know how I mentioned that Kick a Lucky Block is the 4th biggest Brainrot game? Steal a Brainrot is the record holder for highest peak player count. Plants and Brainrots peaked at over 8 million players, and escaped Tsunami for Brainrots at about 5 million players. But Kick a Lucky Block never got into multiple millions like the other three games. It had significantly lower player count both during admin abuses, but also the average player count compared to the other three games. While it's obvious that Brainrot trend was already dying out by then, something else actually contributed to why the game had lower player count. Escape Tsunami for Brainrots, one of the most popular Brainrot games which was on its peak back in January and February. The game, just like any other Brainrot game, was simple. It is made for kids, after all. But something was different, just how simple it was, yet at the time it was one of the most popular games on the platform. People saw just how simple it was and began creating their own very similar games. Soon enough, there was a mass production of Brainrot games which were very similar to each other. Games like Survive Lava for Brainrots, Swing Obby for Brainrots, Skateboard for Brainrots, and hundreds other. Even content creators like Creekcraft would hop on to make their own Brainrot games. There were even templates, which only made the mass production bigger. In every game, you had to find Brainrots and bring them to your base without dying. Then level them up for more money, rebirth and upgrade, and then repeat. Why did I mention all of this? Because Kick a Lucky Block is pretty much a part of that. The reason why it became more popular than the other games is because it tried to do a few things a bit differently, while also adding extra steps other games didn't have. Getting Brainrots became easier. You just run in a straight line and you're good as soon you got enough of the same speed, similar to the other games I mentioned earlier. The same Brainrot leveling up, rebirths and such. Just with you having to get kick power and properly kick the lucky blocks to yield the best results. What I've been trying to say is that since Brainrot games became so repetitive with everyone making pretty much the same thing, it began losing popularity even faster. And since Kick a Lucky Block wasn't exactly super unique among other Brainrot games, and Brainrot in general was in decline since people were getting tired of it, people might have lost the interest faster. And the thing is, a game like +1 Speed Keyboard Escape, which is primarily a kids game, is currently getting millions of players on admin abuses, even outpacing Escape Tsunami for Brainrots. And this game shows that there is still demand among kids for simple and even repetitive games like this. It's just that now Brainrot isn't as clickbaity as it used to be. Kick a Lucky Block came out pretty late, and the fact that it hasn't really gotten much of actual new content doesn't make things better for it. Steal a Brainrot got a new update while I've been working on this video, and its player count basically doubled simply because of an update. That shows that Brainrot games can still very much get a lot of players. They just need the right type of content. Kick a Lucky Block isn't really heading in the right direction, and because of that, its player count continues to drop down. And in general, as I said, this kind of gameplay loop isn't something unique. Hence, players quit so quickly. Kick a Lucky Block might be the last Brainrot game to get over 1 million players, unless a new Brainrot game is made and is different from all of the other ones we've had by far. Anyway, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. That helps the channel. You can watch one of these videos while waiting for a new one. They are good too. You can play our game or join my Discord server with links in description, and I will see you soon.